And welcome to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. I am Shanrae. Give me 1 minute. I have been multitasking all day long. Give me 1 minute. I have got to go put some lights on. Give me a minute. Okay. And tonight is our final night of Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. And we're going to wrap it up with talking about, hold on. Here we go. We're wrapping it up with power versus authority and using sex as a weapon. All right. Let me know if you can hear me on tonight. Let me know if you can hear me on tonight. And I'm on multiple platforms right now. So, I'm trying to, good evening, Instagram, my Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Snapchat, TikTok, all of my TikTok family. Good evening. I'm trying to make sure that I'm on all of the different platforms, trying to make sure that you all can see me. Let me know if you guys can see me on Facebook and hear me on Facebook. I'm trying to make sure that y'all can see and hear me on that. I don't see myself on there. Let me try to share. But we're going to wrap it up tonight. It's going to be a little bit longer than 30 minutes. Because this has been a serious topic about using sex as a weapon. Now, I am going to say, if that is something that you and your partner or your spouse, if that's something that you all like to do, then that's between you all and your marriage. But I'm talking about you doing that in a manipulative type of way. Or whether you withholding your love from your spouse or your partner just to be to get your way or whatever like that, or if you're using it to get your way. It goes both ways now. It goes both ways. Excuse me, let me try to find myself on here so I can kind of share it. Here we go. Let me share it, see if I can do that. All right, so let's move this on. I acquired my degrees from Ashford University, and y'all know I like to use visuals. And let me open and close this website disclaimer. This month I did something different. I didn't even say it. I say it so much, and so it's there for anyone to read the website disclaimer. I did acquire my degrees from Ashford University, and I'm a Christian counselor. Let me open up this scripture, and then I'm going to say it briefly. So the scripture for the year that I've chosen, Deuteronomy 31:6, the NIV version. To be strong and courageous, do not be afraid or terrified because of them. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. So that's the scripture that I have chosen for the year. Let me go on and try to find myself because I am live on here. Let's go back. So I'm trying to make sure I can look at all of the comments. Let me turn this down. Hey, Amanda, it's good to see you. Guess I'm going to have to use my phone. It's good to see Cousin Amanda tonight. Thank you. You can hear me. Okay, awesome. All right, so that's the scripture that I've chosen for the year. A good scripture too. A good scripture. I like to also talk about I can do all things. We can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. Whether you're a Christian believer or not trying to put that down anybody's throat, not trying to do that at all. Just want to let you know that the strength that we can acquire from God, or some people say higher sources. I don't say from the universe, because God created the universe. The universe didn't create us. God created that. So, but for the highest source, some people say higher sources, but either way, I know that we can obtain strength from that. So, all right, so let's move on to our key points. All right, here we go. Let's move on to that. And our first key point is why sexless marriages happen and what to do about them. Number 2 is what is a sexless marriage. Number 3 is how can a sexless marriage affect our mental health. All right, we talked a little bit about that on Tuesday night. Number 4 is how can we rebuild our relationship if we are in a sexless marriage or have been in a sexless relationship. So let's move this along. I got 3 different monitors going and one mouse and trying to work that. Okay, so why sexless marriages happen and what can be done about them. So this theory has been medically written and reviewed by Dr. Jennifer Littner. Dr. Jennifer Littner. She's saying that wondering why a loving relationship sometimes can lack sexual intimacy. Do you want to overcome that drought and revive your sex life? She said, let's talk about it. Now, everybody that's on here is not married. Everybody may not be in a relationship. Hey, cousin Alice, but in a relationship currently. But we have been in relationships and we have been there. So those that are old enough, this is not for children, but those that are old enough who have been in relationships can understand what it is to have been in a relationship. Maybe sometimes it kind of sizzled down. And then this is an open platform. If you choose to share some of the things that you chose to do to bring life back to your relationship, I will pause and I will talk about it. On Tuesday night, we talked about different reasons that causes it. One of them was medical. We had a lady that was on Tuesday night, and she shared with us that she was in a marriage, and she was diagnosed with cancer at some point in her life. And for 3 years, she was in a battle of recovering from that, but she was not able to be intimate with her spouse those 3 years while she was recovering and battling from cancer. And that was such a candid and such a bold and beautiful moment that she shared with us. And we talked about that. So there are different reasons that may cause that thing. And I was going to kind of open up about something tonight, but I'm a Christian believer. I don't want to open up about a certain thing because it goes against Christian beliefs. Now, the world, they don't look at it this way, but I stand on Christian foundation. So I'm not going to bring up certain things, with resolutions, what somebody may do in certain situations, simply because it does go against Christian ethics. So I'm going to leave it like that, and you could kind of put together what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So Dr. Jennifer says that one of the most common complaints among people in long-term relationships is sexlessness. Now, I shared on Tuesday night, when my husband and I first got married 32 years ago, when we got married 32 years ago, I never would have thought in a million years that we would never be intimate with each other every day. Oh, but as time goes on and life happens and stuff like that, that changes. We started out being intimate daily, once, twice, 3 times, whatever, daily. But as time went on, my reality shifted to reality. So my reality at that time had to shift into the new reality, because the new reality was we wasn't being intimate daily. Our intimacy dwindled down to a couple of times a week. Now it was still amazing, but it was not daily. So I had to kind of shift my mindset as we matured, as we got older in our relationship. It didn't change how we felt about each other in our marriage. It's just that things happen when you start having children and you start having lives and you're working as you get older. Life happens. Lives. So, Dr. Jennifer was saying, let's get down to this. There are many ways that we can enhance our sexual life and improve our relationships within our marriages and our relationships. So, what is a sexless marriage? Let me move this on. Let's answer that question. What is a sexless marriage? So, Dr. Jennifer, she says that generally speaking, a sexless marriage or relationship is one in which there are few or no sexual encounters between the partners. There are no universally accepted definition. That's it. So some signs that could be in a sexless relationships include having sex less than 10 times a year. Wow. Now, when I was younger, I would have never understood that. Having sex, being intimate with your partner less than 10 times a year. So it's 12 months in the year. I'm gonna say you've been together once a month, and then 2 months out of that, you were not together. Okay, so that's how I'm thinking about it, computed it that way. There's 12 months in a year. There's only been intimacy 10 out of the 12 months in that year. Okay, now of course it could be other scenarios. Okay, you could have been together 10 times in 1 month, and then the rest of the year that was it. But let's hope not. But Dr. Jennifer says that being intimate with each other less than 10 times in a year, or not at all, these are signs that you're in a non-intimate relationship. She said number 2, a lack of physical and emotional intimacy. And number 3, tension between partners over frequency of being intimate together. So she talks about a study from 1993 that found that 16% of couples, relationships, marriages have been sexually inactive. And so she says, Dr. Laura Vowles, like vowel, says a sex and relationship therapist, researchers at the University of Lausanne, Switzerland, estimates that between 2% and 10% of marriages today are sexless. Okay, so that's the norm. That's considered the norm. 2 to 10% of relationships are sexless. So she said sexual desires and frequencies ebbs and flows through everybody. In other words, everybody got a libido. Whether it's pumping like this or whether it's just going like this, boop, boop, everybody has a libido, okay? So if you're going through a dry spell, which I know most women, we do, especially when it comes down to if you get into the age of menopause and stuff. Okay, some dry spells may start to happen. All right, or you just feel out of sync with your partner. Dr. Jennifer says, try not to fret about it. It is natural, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're in a sexless relationship. It's just something that you're experiencing at the time. So there are marriages that have consensual sexless marriages, and which is a lack of sex that poses an issue when the level of desire differs between the partners. Okay, so but for couples who mutually agree that sex is not a priority, sexless or low sex marriages, they can flourish too. Because why? The two are on the same page. If they both are the same way, they both feel the same way about being intimate that way, then they can still have a thriving marriage. Okay, so there are plenty of valid reasons why people remain abstinent within their marriages, including asexuality. To each their own. Asexuality. They both equally have a low self-drive. Some people, religious practices, like there are some people when they're fasting, they fast from everything, including intimacy with their partners. Now, I strongly suggest that if you're fasting, you better make sure that your partner, your spouse, is in agreement with you with that if you're trying to abstain. I personally, whether I'm fasting or not, that's not something that comes up to me about abstaining from my partner. That's just something I don't do. And then another reason is number 4, avoidance of STIs and unwanted pregnancies. All right. So if neither partner believes that sex is necessary to show and maintain a loving connection, a strong relationship can still persist. So let's move this on. Why does this happen? Why does this happen? And we hit on this a little bit on Tuesday night. Why does, non-intimate sexless marriages occur? All right. Why does it happen? So Dr. Jennifer says that when it comes to sexless marriages, there are many possible causes. And sometimes the exact cause is a hard pinpoint. Here are some common reasons why one or both partners may not be interested in sexual intimacy. Number 1 is sexual desire discrepancies, SDD. That's the thing, y'all, SDD, sexual desire discrepancies. So SDD essentially means that one partner wants sex more often than the other one. Your sexual desires are out of sync. So one 2015 study found out that 80% of people experience SDD within their relationships within a time frame. Okay, so everybody, independent of gender identity, experiences drops and surges in their desires. Still, if your partner wants to be intimate a lot more than you do, or vice versa, feelings do get hurt. Frustrations do grow. Now, we're gonna go back to the level where SDD, where they're talking about one partner is more has a stronger libido than the next one. What do? Will somebody share what have you done if that ever happened to you? I talked about earlier that a lot of times women go through menopause at a certain age. Well, men start to lose testosterone. Men start to lose testosterone, which affects them. I don't believe that it stops the desire, but you know what I'm saying? Without that testosterone, they can't perform or even physically get to the point where they need to get, because there's not enough testosterone flowing within them to help them move along in that, And then women, on the other hand, is with the menopause, where you may be you're experiencing hormonal deficiency. So, but there is help. Oh Lord, guys, guys. I'm sorry, my fur babies they fussing. Okay, Tay must be home. All right, so, but there is help, guys. There is help. Praise God for that. There's help for women who are going through hormonal issues. There's help for men that are going through testosterone issues. So these things can be rectified. So that part of your marriage, that intimate part of your marriage can be put back into place, or as normal, as close to normal as it used to be. All right. So we talked about the SDD, sexual desire discrepancy. Number 2 is mental or physical illness, chronic health conditions, depression, joint or muscle pain, cancer. I shared about our the lady who shared with us on Tuesday night. That's something that happened to her, and she overcame, thank God. Other ailments can significantly impact your intimate life. Lowered libido may be a side effect of the condition itself, or even medication causes a lower libido. For example, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, which is SSRIs, are the first pharmaceutical treatment for depression. But sexual dysfunction is among their most common side effects. So there are medicines that do inhibit that desire. But again, I'm sure with them knowing this, that there is something that that can be taken to help that desire come on back. There's some natural things. Oysters. They used to say if you eat oysters, that's something that gets you nice and going and get you ready. Eating oysters. There's things that can help combat these things. All right. So number 3 is poor communication. So in a study, Dr. Vowels found that dissatisfaction within relationships where partners had different levels of desires mostly stem from poor communication and disengagement. When you're not communicating properly, when they're making no effort to work with your significant other in times of the sexual desire, discrepancy only worsens the situation and can snowball into a lack of sex altogether. All right, so that's number 4. And boredom. Let me go back and make sure that was right. So 1, 2, 3. Number 4 is boredom. Boredom. After being in a committed relationship for years, like I said, I've been married 32 years. When I first got married, I never would have thought that we would not be intimate daily, every single day. But as time goes on, life happens, your children come, age, and all this stuff. No, things change. So my reality back then has changed to my new reality. Okay? We've been married a long time now. We ain't bored. Trust me, we're not bored. And we're not together every day. I'm grateful for the times that we are there. And he is too. A couple of times a week or however it goes. Sometimes, depending on how busy our schedule is, sometimes it could be once a week. But it doesn't mean that we're less loving towards each other. It's just adjusting and adapting. So, even with that, she's saying that Dr. Vowell is saying boredom. After being in a committed relationship, sometimes you can get bored. Okay, we talked about spicing it up Tuesday night. Get creative. I had given some suggestions at a bridal party, at an adult bridal party where a couple was getting married and we gave gifts. I talked about it Tuesday night. Listen, create a outfit for you. I said some coconuts and some string. You get creative. Get some ribbon. Get some ribbon. Just get creative. Try to get some things going. A thing outside of the box. Toga. When we grew up and we were graduating from high school, everybody looked forward to going away on a senior trip and having a toga party. Well, first of all, I couldn't go on the senior trip because I was Bishop Norman's granddaughter and Evangelist Claudia Norman's Norman Price's daughter. So I wasn't going on no senior trip. And even if we could afford for me to go, I still wasn't going because everybody was looking forward to the toga party. At that age, I was looking forward to a toga party too, but I wasn't allowed to go. And guess what? I'm all right with it. I wasn't missing out on much. But if you want to reenact the toga party, hey, that's being creative. Spice it up. So, Dr. Bauer was saying that being intimate can no longer be fun and exciting. Far less likely to make time. When it's no longer exciting, people don't make time for it. Like I just suggested, get creative. Spice some stuff and get creative, y'all. Okay, so now the next thing is, how can a sexless marriage affect your mental health? All right, we talked a little bit about this on Tuesday night. And I'm going to surmise this because our time is going by quickly. So Dr. Jennifer says it's generally true that intimacy is beneficial to our mental health. It is. Y'all, we all adults. We know how it is, how it's beneficial for our mental health. Okay? A 2015 study confirmed that previous findings that frequency of being intimate is associated with well-being for people within relationships. While relationships and like satisfaction remain fairly stable for couples who had intimacy at least once a week, those who had it less frequently expressed lower satisfaction levels. Now let's get candid. How many times we have been around adults at work, at church, in our neighborhood, our friends, and we know we know that there's something lacking with that because their attitude, they have a snippier attitude. You can tell that they're frustrated and stuff like that. So that's a part of your mental health, And then, like if they're having a situation, a moment within their marriage, and they're uptight and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden, sometime later on, when y'all come together, maybe go on a girls' night dinner or something, you're like, oh, thank God you made up with your husband or you made up with your wife, because you are so much easier to deal with right now, because you were just frustrated and you was taking it out on everybody, whether you realize it or not. So I'm gonna share this with y'all. My husband and I, the last church that we were with under almost 20 years. We were working with their music department for almost 20 years, and then we wound up moving on to being at the current church that we're at now. But when we were at the other church, we were having a marriage conference at our church, and it was people that came in from all different states. It was a wonderful weekend marriage conference, and so they had a couple of different speakers, and they talked about these different things, how to spice up your marriage as Christian believers, how to do this, and how to stay married, because divorce rate, it was high, it's still high within the church. And we were hitting on topics, all kinds of topics, infidelity, all kinds of this, that, the other, different things that people experience. And so I had got up and I had made a scenario. What I said was that we all saved and we're Christian, and those of us that are married. And I said, it's all right between services. It is okay when you go home to eat your lunch or your dinner, if you and your spouse want to be intimate, and then, come on back like that. So somebody who was sitting in the audience at the time, it was a couple of them that started talking. They said, because we can always tell what y'all do. And I was like, they said, oh my God. They said, Dupree be playing. He be playing up under the anointing for our 6 p.m. service. We can always tell when y'all do. And I was like, and I said, well, and everybody who went to our church was like, yup, we can. They was like, they said that man come back and be playing that keyboard. And I'm sorry. I said, oh my God. And I'm even the pastor at the time. He was like, oh no, we can always tell when he's been pleased. They said we can always tell when he's been pleased between services. They said, because he come back and we have church. And I went to a multicultural church at the time. And so to get back to saying this, it does affect your mental health, okay, when you are sexually intimate with somebody you love and trust. Us as Christians, we say our spouses. You know what I'm saying? But when you are with, as the world is saying now, when you're with your person and you love and trust them, it helps your mental. Oh my God, Dr. Amanda, my cousin Dr. Amanda is over here cracking up in Facebook land. She is cracking up. So, and it talks about even having an unequal libido. Guys, let's try to give. Each person try to give. The person with the higher libido kind of compromise a little bit, kind of understand that your spouse their body is probably changing, their hormones is changing. And then the one whose hormones is changing, go on and seek out something that will help you so you can stay happy in that area. I talked about Tuesday night that going outside of your relationship, outside of your marriage, is never the answer. As I got older, I started hearing different people give the wrong advice. When you unhappy with the person you with, the best way to do it is get with somebody else and be happy. That's not that makes things worse. That is such a big breakdown of trust, and what a terrible betrayal. When you're with somebody, you're married, and then you're because things aren't going well in your relationship. And things are not going to stay that way. They're not going to stay bad all the time. It's just a season. It's just something that you're experiencing at the time. And even if you've got to go seek and talk and sit down with a professional so they can give you strategies to get over that hump. But you involving third and fourth and fifth parties, or you bringing somebody in your home and saying, let's spice it up, whatever. And that's, again, I'm a Christian, so adultery is, and even the APA, even psychology, they agree with bringing a third or fourth party into your marriage is unhealthy. And all kinds of things. So I'm standing on Christian ethics, and I'm standing on what the APA talks about, which is the psychological association that talks about that. Because you and your person are supposed to be, now I know it's a whole lot of other stuff going on now, the polys and stuff like that. And let's see how that works out. Because when it's like that, they're going to keep adding people in. And who's the benefactor in this anyway? Because it'll never be enough for somebody like that. You poly, it'll never be. It's always going to get boring to them. And they're always going to want to bring somebody else in to the party. And that's just, come on now. Come on. But let's move this along. So, Dr. Jennifer says, is this a deal breaker? Is it a deal breaker having a sexless marriage? And again, there are several. We talked about the reasons why. Is it a deal breaker? Okay. So she said, most people agree that sex is necessary, a necessary part of romantic relationships. It is. It is. So in one Pew Research Center, 63% of respondents said that a satisfying sexual relationship was important for maintaining a successful marriage. It is. It really is. But God forbid if something happens, even a car accident. There are people that have been in car accidents and their backs have gotten broken. Their hips have gotten broken. And it took some time for things to be, for you to recover. That's not a reason because the person can't do what you want them to. That's not a reason to step out on. Come on now. You know, and there's a saying that people are saying now. What is it? Echo? Hey, Echo. He said, okay. Please add it. Oh, okay. Yeah, all right, Echo. I'll add it. Yes, I will. But is it a deal breaker? And unfortunately, nowadays, a lot of these younger people, they feel like I need to be happy. And if I'm not happy, then I'm going to do whatever I have to do to be happy. And yes, we do want to be happy. We do. But life happens. Life does happen. Nobody, I don't know anybody that purposely say, I'm going to get injured. I want to injure myself so I can make sure that I'm not 100% with my person or with my partner or with my spouse. I don't know anyone who deliberately says, I want to be ill or anything like that. Life happens. And it may not be an all the time. I speak positively. So I believe that, yeah, Echo, he said, you still love that song. And I stand on that things will always get better. Things will always get better. You know, so is it a deal breaker? Dr. Vowles believes that happy relationships are possible too without having intimacy. There are people who are happy to remain in these non-intimate marriages because there are so many reasons why one might want to stay in that relationship. Sex is generally good for relationships and provides a whole host of benefits, but this doesn't mean that it is necessary in order to still have a healthy relationship. Okay? So, still, dwindling sex and intimacy can certainly have negative impacts on relationships. But is it still a deal breaker? Dr. Jennifer, Dr. Vowell, and I'm saying too, that it's up to you. If it's a deal breaker, it's up to you. It's up to you. Basically, you're the one who have to make that decision. So, Dr. Jennifer says, how can we build our partnership? How can we rebuild it? Let me go on so y'all can see this. How can, oh Lord, I'm just talking. How can it be rebuilt? So while we may feel discouraged, those that are going through this, if the partner has gone sexless for a prolonged time, keep in mind that there are ways to rebuild and rekindle your sexual relationships. Now, I'm going to say this. Echo says, but what happens when a spouse makes excuses for not having sex, but still wants you to carry out your role? Echo, it is time then. It's time for you all to seek a therapist or a doctor for her or for the spouse, because it may be something. A lot of times it sounds like it's something more. It may be a health condition. It could be a mental condition, something that's going on. It could be hormonal. I don't know how old the spouse is. And like I said earlier, women go through menopause. And when women hit a certain age and they start hitting that menopause, oh my God, it's not just your body that's changing, it's your mind, because your hormone level is going crazy. And a lot of times, I remember when I first started going through it, and I was like, I don't even like my own self. And I had a Bible study one night at church and was talking about it. And I was like, I'm being candid, y'all. I don't even like myself, because my mood swings was everywhere. And I was like, what is going on? I started praying, Lord, show me what to do, because I don't even like my own self. There's something that's going on with the spouse. And a professional needs to be looked into it. Thank God nowadays we have it to where you can get one on a Zoom. You don't even have to go into the office. If you can schedule a Zoom and y'all sit down in front of the computer and talk about it, even if your spouse don't open up and you start opening up and start talking with the person, and let the spouse know, I love you enough to find out what is going on, because it is important to me to be able to love you, and to love you not only emotionally and mentally, but physically as well. So it is time for a professional to get involved, whether it's the primary care doctor and a therapist, or either or, because even a primary care physician is going to refer a counselor, a therapist, to get down to the root of this, because there's something going on. And trust me, it's going to get better. It's going to get better, Echo. I'm telling you, it's going to get better. But I'm so grateful that you are concerned. And guys, I'm saying Echo is a man. This is a man here. And so I'm so grateful that you love and you care enough about your spouse to even ask the question. So it's going to get better. Trust me, it is. So communication is the key. Dr. Jennifer is saying, good stuff. Thank you. Welcome. You're welcome. Communication is a critical component when it comes to even your sex life. I said on Tuesday night, listen, be creative. If y'all like to talk nasty, or what the young people say nasty, you like to talk dirty. My husband was upstairs. He was off work Tuesday night. He's screaming downstairs because he was watching from upstairs. He's screaming, yes, talk dirty to me. Talk dirty to me. Listen, if y'all like to text each other little spicy stuff, or whatever's going to help it. Start whatever's going to spice it up. I'm telling you, communication is critical. Okay, there's a study that talks about maintaining sexual interest with your partner is associated with ease of communication and emotional closeness. Let me tell you something. If you can talk spicy to your person, to your spouse, to your partner, baby, that communication that lets you know, okay, y'all are on a good path. If y'all feel comfortable enough to talk spicy to each other. Dr. Jennifer says, what should you be communicating about to boost your sex life and enjoy the sex that you're having with each other? Number one, tell them what you want. Tell them what you want. Nobody is a mind reader. Even when you've been together with your spouse, hey Shanrae, hey, even when you've been with your spouse for a while, tell them what you want. Okay, it doesn't matter. Even if they're like, for instance, you're broke your leg or something. Well, you can't do what you want to do while your leg is recovering, but there's things you can do. Talk about it. I can't flip upside down today, Daddy. I can't do that. But what I can do is do this. Talk, communicate. Tell them what you want. You don't have to be shy. Okay? Research indicates that when a woman talks openly or a man talks openly about what they like sexually and what they don't like, they come to a happy ending a lot easier. Okay? Now they said something different, but I'm just paraphrasing. Number 2 is talk about performance problems. Even though it can be awkward, having frank discussions about erectile dysfunction, delayed orgasms, or pain, it is important. Number 3 is be understanding. Okay, it goes both ways. Okay, if women is having issues, maybe hormonal, menopausal, if the man is starting to have erectile dysfunction, they got so much stuff out there now. They got so much stuff, baby. Whatever makes y'all happy, okay? Do what you have to do as long as it doesn't harm you to keep your sexual life, your sexual relationship happy with your spouse. It can feel like a personal dig when your partner doesn't want to have sex. Yep, it do. But try not to jump to the conclusions. Maybe they're feeling sick, had a long day at work, or simply not in the right headspace for it, okay? Couples therapy, I talked about that a little bit earlier. Though it may seem like a drastic measure, going to a therapist, listen, you ain't got to go there no more. You can schedule something right here online like I am, and they can pop up right here virtually. They can pop up, and y'all can have your couples therapy right in on the comforts of your own home. All right, and the good thing about it is a lot of times it's not a couples. Their therapy is not just between the hours of 9 and 5. It goes. They almost offer 24 hours, especially virtually if you want to do it on the phone. But I like virtual personally. All right, so couples therapy. It used to seem drastic. It's not. Therapy is not a drastic, man. It's a great tool. Going to a therapist can help break down walls of communication and provide the guidance that you and your partner need to improve your sexual life. Dr. Vowels uses emotionally focused therapy and sensate focus with her clients. Emotionally focused therapy focuses on understanding the negative interaction cycles and helping couples to break out of the cycle and to connect with each other again emotionally. Vowel says that it helps couples to talk to each other about the issues and then open up an emotional dialogue about their fears, their needs, and their longings. Sensate focused therapy it combines elements of mindfulness, which is staying in the present moment, and exposure therapy, which is gradually getting used to something that's feared or avoided. So the next thing is to get intimate with your partner. Get intimate with them. Being intimate doesn't always mean having sex. Intimacy can include physical touching, like massaging. I like a good massage. Caressing, cuddling, kissing. Just get intimate. Start practicing doing that again. Or it can mean emotional closeness, like sharing a deep conversation. Some research indicates that showing affection, whether verbal or physical, may be an effective way to increase the likeliness of being intimate again or having sex. Ups your romance. So whether you have kids, demanding jobs, high stress, or all of the above, making time for romance can seem impossible. But if your sex life isn't where you want it to be, rediscover your romantic roots is a powerful tool. Look, go back to when you was dating your spouse. Let me give you one little good strategy. You're going to have to be real careful with this. I don't know how you're going to do this. But if y'all got to go and get in the car again, you know how when you was younger and be in the car, baby, that car nookie was it. That car nookie, okay, that car nookie was something, baby. If you got to go back to doing that, now you have to make sure you don't get no ticket. You don't be nowhere where there's no children. Make sure you if you got to park in your own driveway and or in the back of your house, or make sure ain't nobody looking. Try to spice it up, guys. Now, if that's wrong, if that's bad advice, don't follow it. If it's bad advice, don't follow it. But try to find a way to spice up. You know, I'm trying to show you different ways you can do it without paying money. If you want to go to a nice hotel, by all means do that. Of course, vacations, definitely. But I'm just saying, like little sneaky things. The car used to be it, baby. Okay, so if you want to go back to that, do that. Okay, like she said, Dr. Jennifer said, have a date night, taking a weekend trip, or just lighting some candles at home. That's nice too. In your living room, romance can be sprinkled in daily too, with love notes, sweet texts, or little compliments. Those are always great. But that spicy talk, it helps. That spicy to them texts, them little whatever y'all talk about to get that blood boiling and get them veins, that blood boiling things, that helps. The next one is thinking ahead. For some couples, penciling sex into their calendar is a helpful tool in keeping the sexual relationship alive. So if you're busy, if you're very busy, if both of y'all are busy, and it's easy to let weeks of mismatched schedulings go by with no sex, knowing that the idea ahead of time can not only ensure that you're having intimacy with your partner or your spouse, but the anticipation can also serve as a form of foreplay between you and your partner. So even if you're not in the mood when that time does come, sexual contact can change that mood. I'm just paraphrasing. That's nice rubbing and stroking, it changes it. Okay, you may start out not being in the mood. Oh, but you're gonna end up being in the mood, okay? All right, so that contact with each other. All right, so the last one, is this the last one? The last one is spicing things up. We talked about that Tuesday night. We're gonna end with it tonight. Spicing things up. It's easy to fall into a routine when you're in a long-term relationship. Like I said, 32 years married with me. Of course, things can seem like it's become a routine. So spice it up. Instead of mindless coasting through average sex, consider trying something new. Whether it's a new place to have sex, a different position, or some toys. Okay? They say that relationship takes a lot of work. Dr. Jennifer and I both say relationships need more play. More playtime. Okay? People tend to think of intimacy as penetration with an orgasm as the goal. Sexual pleasure is the most overlooked element to a great sex life. Okay, so stay curious. Find out what makes you moan with pleasure, or what makes him moan with pleasure. And you'll never, ever get bored. So, research shows that couples who report higher sexual satisfaction often incorporates greater variety within their sex acts. Okay, so I'm going to end with this. I talked about Tuesday night because our title for the month has been power versus authority, and our subtitle this week has been "But using sex as a weapon." There are people that are misusing this beautiful, beautiful tool that God created for us to get closer within our marriage and our relationships. People have been using this tool the wrong way. A lot of people have been using sex as a weapon, whether you're withholding it from your spouse, maybe because you're trying to punish them, or you're trying to get your way, or you're using it as a tool to get your way or to manipulate your partner or your spouse. This is not something that we do, because either way, it's still harmful. You're creating harmful vibes within your relationship and with the person that's supposed to be closest to you and most important to you. We're not going to use this beautiful tool, this gift, as a weapon. We're not going to use it to punish somebody. We're not going to use it to withhold from somebody or to get your way. Hey, how you doing? We're not going to use that for that. We're going to use it the way we should use it. Now, we did talk about some ways that why people do. If there is a breakdown within a relationship, if the person has just breached your trust, if they're out there having sex with everybody else and then coming back and bringing home STDs, I would protect myself too. That's a different reason, okay? That's something else. You have to protect yourself. But if you have a thriving relationship or you're building a thriving relationship, don't use sex as a weapon or as a tool. I just had this conversation with her guy. Wow. Yep, it is important. Leah says she just had this conversation with her guy. Don't use sex as a weapon. Don't withhold, yes, you're going to disagree sometime and all of this. The old saying is don't go to bed mad with each other. Sometimes you do go to bed mad with each other. But when you wake up the next morning, things should be calmer. You should be able to discuss some things or whatever, or agree to disagree. As long as it's not hurting you physically or hurting you mentally and emotionally. But if it's something that you all can get over and get past and grow, do not use this beautiful gift that God created. Don't use it as a weapon. If it's something that's not going to cause fatalities in your life or illness or anything like that, don't withhold being with your person. Don't withhold sex from them. And if you're trying to get your way, don't use it as a weapon like that. Don't do that, because again, this is supposed to be the closest person to you. This is supposed to be your person. So if you by hurting your person, that's not going to build a healthy relationship. Okay, so let's looking ahead. Dr. Vowles shared promising news. She said that she recently finished a study that showed that people were able to move away from anxiety, move away from fear and avoidance into self-confidence and satisfaction with their sexual relationships with their partners. And this gives people hope, and it can help them and help their couples define their sexual selves once again. Life happens. Leah said they didn't like my comment, but listen, didn't accept. Okay, but don't accept it. Okay, well, let them think about what you said. If what you said that made sense, but if they didn't listen, then and thank you. Eventually they're gonna have to come around. They're gonna have to come around, because we're all adults. I'm not saying everybody is mature, but some people have to learn how to grow and how to come out of a lot of people are set in their own ways. And all I can say is to say to them, if I really mean something to you, if I'm your person, if you really love me, then we can work through this, whatever it is, whatever, we can work through it. We don't have to incorporate our disagreement into every aspect of our lives. And if I mean as much to you as you mean to me, let's not allow this part of our lives to be affected. That's something you can say to your spouse. We can get over and get a rise above whatever disagreement, but don't allow the disagreement to be put in every aspect of our lives. My husband, all he said down through the years, he said, "You are a mess." He said, it's funny. He said, "You can be," hi, Trisha. He said, "You can be really, really, really angry with me." He said, an hour later, going in the kitchen, "What you want for dinner? What you want? I'm getting ready to make dinner. Just tell me what you want now." And he was like, you could still be upset about what happened, but then you'll go in and you're not going to withhold, cooking food for us or this, that. Even if we have to go in separate rooms for a little bit, you still come back and you're not letting it roll over into the rest of our lives and everything. So what you can say, Leah, to the person, you say, if I mean as much to you as you mean to me, whatever disagreement we're having, don't allow it to roll over into other aspects of our relationship. We're gonna get through this. I'm not gonna stop cooking for you. You're not gonna stop it. And so we should not allow this to be affected. You know what I'm saying? We can be mature enough to still physically love each other and then still learn how to get through this disagreement. Okay? So, and on our way, sometimes call for finishing the ways of others hurting us. Yeah, that's a big part of it too. Love you too. It's a big part of it too. A lot of people bring in old baggage from other relationships into something new. And so they have to learn how to get over the negative things that they experience with other partners and don't bring it into the new relationship, because who you with now is not who you was with before. And so they have to learn how to do that. But she's not going to accept, right? No, you don't have to accept, you don't have to accept abuse. You don't have to accept mistreatment. And you don't have to accept those things. That's something. That's why it's up to you. It's up to us what we choose to live with, or what we choose to relate with. So no, if it's turning into mistreatment and abuse, that is not worth it. Okay, it's not worth it at all. Okay, so we've been on for an hour, but we needed to tonight. Again, I'm gonna say it again. If your person is who you've been with, or if this is your person or your spouse or your partner or whatever, and you're going through a dry place in your sexual intimacy with your partner, you can get over it. Sometimes you will have to go through counseling so y'all can get to the root cause of what's going on. A lot of times it's physical things. There are some emotional and mental things that are happening. But when I say that you can get over it and things can get back to normal, yes. She said, and then I see you and you're talking about this. Why? Yeah. This has been our topic, power versus authority, for the month. And I wanted to end with this about using sex as a tool. Yes, we whether you're younger or you're older, listen, we should not do that. We should not tear down our relationships by doing that. As long as it's not going to jeopardize your life or your health. Now, if there's other stuff going on like infidelity and all kinds of stuff, then yeah, you have to protect you. But I'm not. If it's not that, then you can find ways to get over whatever disagreements, but don't put that disagreement in every aspect of your relationship. Okay, so she says she literally just wow, that's something, that's serious. So let's go to our takeaway. The takeaway says sexlessness can feel like an impossible problem to solve, especially if you and your partner find it difficult to discuss it openly. If you do, guys, therapy is so easy now. You can go on and schedule one like this, an online session, and you can schedule it, and the tools that you'll be given to help get over and how to start becoming intimate again is priceless. So the takeaway again is, but with time and effort, things can get better. Y'all know I'm a half glass full type of person. I say that anything can get better as long as you put effort into it. And when a relationship is going to take the two, you're both going to have to put effort into it. So this is the takeaway. Again, sexless can feel like an impossible problem to solve, especially if you and your partner find it difficult to discuss it openly. But with time and effort, things can get better. Let's go to the quote. I used the same quote on Tuesday night. I think it's beautiful. The quote says, never above you, never below you, always beside you. And that's by Walter Winchell. Never above you, never below you, but always beside you. So, and this is by Walter Winchell. All right, so let's move through this quickly. And then I'll see y'all August 2025 for the month with a whole new topic, okay? So, This is for my fellow theorists and counselors. This is where I received, I got all my theory from, right there. Okay, let's move on. Better Up. If you're looking for a life coach, www.betterup.com. They have awesome life coaches there that will assist you in what you need coaching in. Add a Plus community. If you have ADD, ADHD, OCD, Add a Plus community. www.add community is a great community that will of people that can help you get further in life and to overcome certain things with ADD, ADHD, and OCD. www.betterhelp.com. If you're looking for a licensed therapist for children, family members, and couples, www.betterup.com is virtual online counselors available for you 24/7. BetterUp.com. Then we have 988 Crisis Helpline. If there's someone you know that's in distress, someone that you know that may need help, 988 Suicide Help Crisis Helpline is there 24/7 with qualified counselors on there to help assist the person to get over that hard time that they are experiencing. LearningRx.com. This organization has been functioning for 30 plus years with success rate. This is a brain training organization that helps not only people with ADD, ADHD. It's a working memory type of brain training. A lot of professionals like lawyers, judges, doctors, they utilize Learning RX to keep them sharp. If you want to improve your IQ, www.learningrx.com. People's working memory and different things have improved, and the IQ has improved at least 13 points. www.learningrx.com. If there's a past Counsel of the Day with Shanrae that you missed or just want to rewatch, go to my YouTube channel at Shanrae Price. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Then put in Counsel of the Day with Shanrae and go through any of the series and rewatch them. And I hope that you enjoy as you do. I'm also a professional one-on-one counselor. I'm a degree counselor. I do have clients that I have been counseling for the past 13 years now. And if you are interested in counseling with me, you can inbox me at my Facebook via Shanrae Owens, or you can email me at shanrae.price@gmail.com. I'm a lifestyle strategist, and my goal is to aid you in your overall dreams and your goals. All right. I will see y'all August. Thank y'all for being on for the whole month of May with us. We have had a wonderful time each week under each topic. And I will see y'all August 2025 with a new topic and, of course, subtopics for the week. Good. I'm so glad that you all were part of Counsel Today with Shanrae May 2025. Y'all have a wonderful rest of the few months. Father's Day is coming up. 4th of July. Enjoy your holidays and enjoy yourself. And again, we can do all things better if we try. All right. Good night. Good night, everybody.